Well, hello, class of 2021. How are you? This is Mr. Patterson and Mrs. Duenas, your favorite GLC. And yes, once again, we know we're the only ones, but we like to hear the favorite with our names. So guys and gals, welcome and hello to you. Mrs. Duenas and I have been sending out emails and whatnot, but we wanted to get our mugs in front of you. When we're speaking to you through the video messages, we feel like we're making a connection with you, and we miss that. And so we're doing this video message to reach out to you, give you some updates along the way, but nothing else. That really want to start communicating with you this again, because we miss seeing you guys on campus, obviously.
Sorry, I was stuck for a minute. Go ahead. Oh, well,
we're going to use this as an opportunity to say hello, obviously, to reach out to you. In addition to the email messages that we send out, we have those email messages. You got one this week. We have the Google chats, and we're going to talk in detail about those during this presentation. The Google chats are a great way to stay in contact. We'll get more information on that, but this video message helps us with keeping in communication with you. We have some announcements for you, updates. Some of them were on the emails, but let's get started with some of those reminders. You can do it. I mean, that's our big message. Guys, you can do this. It is the strangest environment that we're all in, and not one of us would have written this script for our senior year. Not a one of us, but it is what it is. It's here, and we're dealing with it. Some of you are doing very well with it. Some of you like the distance learning format, and you're thriving in it. You're doing very well. Some of you are doing okay. Some of you don't like it. There's a mixed bag of how you are reacting to it. But the bottom line is, it is what it is. That's an old expression that I've always used. It kind of sounds trite a little bit, but it's what we're dealing with. So we have to make the best of it. You have to just filter through all the emotions and everything and say, you know what, I've got a job to do. I have a job to be a student and do the best that I can in every facet of my life, even though it's different than what I had thought the senior year was going to be like. So just keep the faith and keep going. It's different. Yes, it is. Do we know what's going to happen the rest of this semester? Not yet. Do we know what's going to happen second semester? Not yet. But doggone it, we're hoping for the best, and we just have to keep going day by day and doing the best that we can. You know, I ask questions, and sometimes it makes me feel good. Sometimes it makes me feel a little sad about things, but what do you miss the most about being at home and not being on campus? Those are the things I want you to think about and say, you know what, I can't wait to be back so that we can take advantage of those things. At home, find something that can fill that gap that you miss. Whatever you feel that you miss the most, find ways to fill that gap in your life. Rely on family, friends, other social interactions you may be able to create. Exercise, your pets, your dogs and your cats. Fill that gap with something else positive in your life. Kind of continuing on the theme, we miss you. Make the best of the situation. My old saying, control what you can, control the controllables. Again, it's still true. It's going to be true forever. You'll make your life so much more simpler if you simply focus on the things that you have control over. If you can't control them, then you just have to deal with them and manage them. But control the things you can control, and you'll feel much better and stronger about yourself. Support each other. Reach out to friends in the class. Reach out to your family members. Do something to help somebody. If you know somebody's kind of struggling and needs a phone call or whatnot, text message, reach out to them. It's going to make you feel better as well. Routines at home, exercise, get out of the house, get the sun on your mug. Feel better about it. As I said, pet your dog, take your dog for a walk, take your cat for a walk. That's kind of weird, but I've seen it happen. And then reach out to Mrs. Duenas and myself and Mrs. Solis and your teachers for support. We're here for you, all right?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have said this numerous times, but we're saying it again because it's that important. There are new email addresses for the staff at Diamond Bar High School and throughout our district. So it's imperative that you really start using these email addresses. We are, for the time being, still receiving emails from our old address, but that is only going to last so long. So get in the habit of using the email addresses that are listed there. Everybody's should still continue to be their first initial last name at wvusd.org. So make sure that you have that saved somewhere, and that's the email address that you're using to communicate with us. And then we say this all the time, but stay up to date with your emails and all the communication that we put out to you guys. We are putting it out to you because we feel it's important information that you need to be aware of. And so checking your emails every day is so important. And we know that you're being inundated with assignments and Google Classrooms and all kinds of stuff coming at you, but those emails are so important for you to filter through every single day, making sure that you're on top of the information that's coming at you. That's definitely a huge way that Mr. Patterson and I communicate with you guys is via email, so please make sure you're staying up to speed with those. We're also sending out the remind text messages as senior year continues. There's a lot of important things that we relay to you guys via those remind messages. So if you do not receive those remind text messages, you can still sign up. Go on our webpage. The instructions on how to sign up for which specific group are listed there. And then along with that, college communication. So you are submitting your applications, you are giving them your email address, and that is the main contact point that they're going to use to communicate with you guys. Okay, so it is absolutely your responsibility to check your college application email. So if you used your own Gmail account, a personal Yahoo account, whatever it is, you need to be checking that email account daily. It could affect your admission if you just don't see that email come in, you don't respond to a request that they have, it could potentially affect your admission to that school. So it is imperative that you guys are checking those daily and staying on top of that stuff. All right, and then also, as we've said before, checking our webpage, we really try and put the most important information that you guys are going to need on that webpage. And we also maintain previous email announcements and things like that on the webpage so that you guys have access to see it if you should need it. The reminder emails are there. There's ways to catch up with our most recent communications. So anything senior year related, you're going to find it on the Class of 2021 webpage. And we try and do a great job of filtering through what's necessary on there and what's not. So if you haven't gone on there in a while, go check out the webpage.
Mrs. Duenas, I have an issue with the fact that the little, go back.
Sorry, I'm back.
The picture of me, the picture of me sitting in that chair, I'm a little offended at the fact that that guy's legs aren't touching the ground when he's sitting there. Are you ripping on me?
No, you mean it's not
it's
not an accurate portrayal?
No, my feet hit the ground. All right, let's go to the next slide.
Moving on.
All right, so financial aid, as many of you know, if you're keeping up to date and reading things, October 1st was the date that the FAFSA opened up the free application for federal student aid. This is critical. Doesn't matter where you go to college. Trade school, Mount SAC, private, public, it does not matter. You should fill out the FAFSA. So this is an application that the sooner you fill it out, the better. Some applications, you just meet the deadline. But the FAFSA is one that you want to do sooner and not later. So I always kind of put in my mind for my own sons, when we sit down with them and fill out their application every year, because it's a renewable document every year, we try to get it done by the first or second week of November at the latest. So, excuse me. So start working on that. Your parent and you will need to get a a financial aid ID. So there's ways to create that. If you go on to the most recent emails, we have several links that Mount SAC has provided us and several other links that will take you to the correct web pages to create the FSA ID that your parent needs, at least one parent, and the student. Now keep in mind, if a parent has done this for older siblings, they have the same ID, it keeps with them forever, they'll use the same ID number. You got to get that done. So please use the resources that are on our webpage. In the last few emails about financial aid, there's information there about cash for college workshops, you name it. All right, continuing with the financial aid, the CSIS profile, that is a College Board generated financial aid package that some private universities require. So if you're applying to private universities, you should already be on top of this. You should know which private universities require the CSIS profile in addition to the FAFSA. So get on that, because all the due dates are going to vary by the college. But that's a critical component. And the reason you do the profile and the reason you do the FAFSA early and not waiting until March 2nd when the deadline is you want the universities to receive the data so that they can put together your financial aid offer as soon as they get admissions decision. It's connected with your financial aid offer, then you can make good decisions and get that response from the school. So really critical. We have a very good scholarship handbook on the Class of 21 webpage. Access it. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier, Mount SAC Financial Aid Office is very helpful. Their contact information is on our webpage, as well as several tutorial programs that you can look over and watch.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the UC and CSU applications. So as you all know, those portals are now open. So those of you applying to those schools, hopefully you have already got the ball rolling there and that most of those applications are already filled out. If you're having trouble with how to access these portals or information, you need more information on how to do it, we have all of those video messages that we sent out over the summer. Video message number 4 is going to be the one that really correlates with this part of senior year. So if you haven't already, watch video number 4 or go to our webpage and look at the links that we have listed there below video number 4. They will help you tremendously in filling out these applications. One of the things that we are very proud of in that in those links that we've provided, there's some troubleshooting documents that we have gone through, and we've made an account from a student's perspective. And so we've kind of looked to see areas where you might get stuck in filling out those applications. And so we've gone through and created a document that will provide you with troubleshooting tips should you come across some areas that are difficult for you to fill out in that application. So the UC application's open. You cannot submit the application until the month of November. So you have the entire month of November, November 1st through November 30th to submit your UC application, but it is open now for you to work on, and we're hoping that you guys are getting those things done. Cal State applications, those are open and you can submit those now. So they opened October 1st and they close November 30th, the same day as the UCs, but they allow you to hit submit as early as now. So if you're working on them and you want to get them out of the way, we encourage you to do that. And don't delay, okay? So as we're saying here, November 22nd, let's make that your unofficial due date, because you don't want to sit down during Thanksgiving break and work on college applications. You want your break to be a break. So trust us when we say you should really aim for submitting these applications by November 22nd at the latest. And the deadline is the deadline. That's it. There's no takeaways or give backs or woulda, shoulda, coulda. You've got to meet the deadline, guys. It is what it is. All right, and then we have the California School Information Services Identification Number. This number is sometimes required on your UC or Cal State application. Every single one of you have access to this CSIS number. It is located on the lower left corner of your transcript. So every single one of you should have a transcript that we provided to you over the summer for summer registration meetings. And if you look at that transcript, bottom left corner, you will see that, that number, that state ID number, and that is the number they are asking for. For the common application, so those of you who are applying to private schools, out-of-state schools that use the common app, If you were missing that first step there, the admission option, we've probably already emailed you and gotten in touch with you. And I think most of you have gone in and made the necessary changes to that. But if you have not done this for all of your schools, you need to do this for all of your schools. So there is an admission option where you designate if you are applying for fall 2021, spring of 2022. They're asking specifically what term are you applying for, and if you're applying early action, early decision, regular decision, you need to clarify that on your Common App so that when we look at it on our end, it's accurate. The information there should match up with what's on your senior profile packet. Be accurate, be honest in all of your statements, kind of along with what we always tell you guys to do as students here at Diamond Bar. And again, don't miss your deadlines, okay? Common App is a little bit trickier because the deadlines vary depending on the school. So it's really up to you guys to stay on top of those applications, be looking at those deadlines and making sure that you're meeting them. You know, you're getting all your stuff turned in on time. And as a side note, those of you who are planning to apply to the community college, we're gonna get the ball rolling their second semester. So sit tight, you haven't missed the boat anywhere. We will have our Career Center specialist, Miss Rochelle Romero. She does a really great job of setting up different meet and greets and application, what's the word I'm looking for?
Conferences,
Workshops.
the representatives come in, workshops.
From the community college, they'll come in and work with you guys and get those things set up. So we'll get that going second semester.
You know, and the neat thing about that is you can use that as a kind of a calendar. So let's say you're not going to go to Mount Sac, you're going to go to community college, but you're deciding to go to Citrus or Fullerton or Rio Hondo or someplace else. That's okay. The Mount Sac rep will still be here to kind of assist you just with the process, but you would do your own paperwork for your own community college. But you can kind of use that as a barometer, as a schedule that, hey, if Mount Sac is asking me to have this done by this date, I should probably have these same things done for Rio Hondo or wherever I am planning to attend. It kind of keeps you on a good schedule. So keep your ears and eyes open for that for January. All right, GLC virtual parent office hours. As many of your parents, we've had about anywhere from 50 to 70 parents that join us on a monthly basis. We started this with the pandemic and it kind of just picked up some steam, and some of the parents asked if we could continue doing it. So we're meeting the first Wednesday of each month from 8 to 9 p.m. through a Zoom link with parents, and some students have joined us as well. It's just a great time for parents to come in to listen to questions from other parents. It gives parents comfort knowing that other parents have the same questions and concerns and worries. And so it's a good deal in that regard. So Wednesdays via Zoom, the next two coming up are the November 4th and December the 2nd. And the Zoom link is on pretty much on the top of the class of 2021 webpage. Google Chat with the GLC. Every day from 1:30 to 2:30 on Google Chat, Mrs. Duenas and I, or at least one of us, will be available to sit down and chat with you virtually, obviously, through the Google Chat process. Now, the Google Chat, you go onto the Google page and you see that little waffle there, all those dots, the 9 dots or whatever it is. You click on that, you get to the different drives and the icons. There's a chat icon that you see there in the upper left-hand corner right there. You just click on that. And then if you're trying to reach out to me, you can just write in a message to me. And then that will click, you know, contact me. If I don't respond right away, I might be with another student or something of that nature. Just be patient, or I might be taking a little nap or something. I don't know. But I'll be there, or Mrs. Duenas will respond to you. And the other thing is, it's really easy to set up a video chat. I mean, that's almost instantaneous where we can just do a video chat instead. Sometimes if you just need to see each other and it makes you feel better to see me, or vice versa, we can do that as well. So Google page, chat option, icon waffle, enter my address or Mrs. Duenas's address, and bada boom, you're there. And this is me too, correct? The senior profile packet. SPP, we're calling that for short. We just got tired of writing it out all the time. If you submitted your senior profile packet, most of it would be because of the Common App. Those deadlines are well past, but if you did submit that, please, 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 you should have received 2 verifications. You should have received a verification from Mrs. Tampio, our secretary, who, thank you so much, Mrs. Tampio, for collecting all those and putting them together and packaging them for both Mrs. Duenas and myself so we can write our letters of recommendation and our reports. So thank you, Mrs. Tampio. She sent a verifying email to you that everything was set and received. And then also there's an Excel spreadsheet that has every ID number of every student that has successfully submitted their senior profile packet. That's your second checkpoint to make sure that your senior profile packet has been successfully received by Mrs. Duenas or myself. So go to the webpage, check that Excel spreadsheet out, make sure your your ID number is on there. If not, don't go cuckoo, don't panic, just contact us and let us know what's going on.
And then this little note, we are very politely telling you, we do not need a reminder about your letter of recommendation, okay? If you have done everything correct on your end, you filled out your senior profile packet with accurate due dates in order of due date, you've submitted the invite to us via Common App using the correct email address, then you are good to go, okay? The responsibility now falls in our lap, and we are asking you to trust that we are going to submit these letters on time. This is a huge task, okay? So 150 to 160 letters each, that's what Mr. Patterson and I are looking at writing here. And so a lot of times we kind of space them out where we know how many letters we need to write per day in order to meet specific deadlines. Sometimes that means your letter is going to get written the day before or even the day of the deadline, but it will get submitted, okay? So just asking you guys to trust us, not panic, know that we have these portals open, the Common App window, it's open on my desktop almost every day. Knowing that I've got to meet these deadlines. So same with Mr. Patterson, don't panic. If the deadline should pass and you didn't see that your stuff was submitted, then most definitely reach out to us. But you could be biting your fingernails and getting worried that it's not going to get turned in by the deadline, but it'll get there, okay? But if we should miss one, then reach out. Otherwise, don't panic. We're working on them. And then some of you guys are out there getting jobs, which is awesome, good job. Or you're applying for scholarships, lots of different things going on. And sometimes a job or a scholarship will ask for a letter of recommendation. For those of you, we don't expect you to write, if you didn't already turn in your senior profile packet, we don't expect you to turn in this 11-page document, okay? So if you need a letter of recommendation for a scholarship or a job or some other thing that's asking you for a letter, we have provided a brag sheet on our webpage. So if you go to the Class of 2021 webpage, you'll find brag sheet listed there. That's what you need to fill out and submit to me or to Mr. Patterson in order for us to write a letter of recommendation for you. Please give us 2 to 3 weeks to write that letter, especially if you're going to ask us to write it in this very heavy college application season. Give us a little bit of notice so that we have the time, ample time to get that letter completed.
And so keep in mind regarding that, guys, if you, and I believe Ms. Duenas mentioned it, if you did your senior profile packet and you are in need of a separate scholarship or whatnot, you're good. We have all the information we need to write your letter of recommendation and set it up. The brag sheet would be only if, let's say you just applied to UCs and Cal States, you didn't do the senior profile pack, it wasn't necessary, well then do the brag sheet. But we definitely condense it so it's not nearly the amount of work.
Correct.
All right, as we start closing things up, just a few last things. The Diamond Bar Career Center, Mrs. Romero, Rochelle Romero, does a great job. She is putting out a weekly college representative visit list, and that's on our webpage. It's also on the Diamond Bar High School homepage under Career Center. You got to find where Career Center is. It's under students, then you find Career Center. but we also put it on our webpage, the link. And it tells you which campuses are on campus here during the week. Now, the visits are going to be done virtually, but they're still here. The representatives are still available for you. We're not doing this so that you can put more schools on your list necessarily, but probably the best thing is, hey, a couple schools that are on my list already are showing up this week. I have some other questions for them. I want to solidify if this is a good choice for me. And you pop in their virtual visit. So take advantage of that, please. Look under students, look for Career Center link for all the things that she has listed, and or just look at the 2021 webpage for this list. As we wrap it up, man, those are two fine looking human beings right there. Holy moly. Get a hug. That's a good one. Oh my God. Hey guys, I tell you, I want you to smile. You just got to find faith in things that you're doing, and just keep confident that we're here for you. Reach out to us, email wise, doesn't matter. Phone call, whatever it is, but keep the faith, control what you can control, do your work, hug your dog, hug your parents, keep in contact with your friends. We're going to get through this doggone thing. And I just keep thinking about how cool it's going to be, you know, when we're kind of back in a regular situation again. It's going to be pretty nice to see everybody. Duenas?
Just as a side note, you guys don't have to just email if something's wrong. You can just email and say hello. I love to read those too, just an update on life or on the Google chat, however you want to do that. It's nice just to check in and hear from you guys, because we certainly miss seeing you guys on campus. So like Mr. Patterson said, we'll get through it. We miss you guys, and we hope to hear from you.
Guys, be good. Stay safe. We love you.
Bye.